Hi, and welcome back to Fan the Flame Dates. Brad and Kate Aldrich of One Flesh Marriage are with us again, and they're talking about physical intimacy. Brad's going to talk to you wives about what men need, and Kate's going to talk to us as husbands about what our wives need.
Ladies, you may think that your husband has sexual intimacy all figured out, or that that's all he thinks about, but he does have sexual needs, and it's an important part of marriage. So I'm here to talk a little bit about what a husband's sexually intimate needs are. The first one, somewhat obviously, is that your husband needs to have sexual intimacy on a regular basis. The reality is most guys feel most connected in their marriage just after sexual intimacy. It is so important for them to feel connected to you. And so keeping that a regular part of your marriage is really important. We've done a whole nother video on just this topic alone called the 10-Day Challenge. I encourage you to check it out and figure out how you can make sexual intimacy a regular part of your marriage. The second thing is that your husband needs to know that you enjoy sex as well. Many guys will talk about how much they want their wife to enjoy sexual intimacy. And this is even more so if it's not as regular as they want it in their marriage. Your husband wants you to enjoy your sexual intimate time together. It's not enough just to be present. It's not enough just to take one for the team. He wants you to be a part of it. He wants you to enjoy it. And so I encourage you to help him along that path. The reality is he's willing to learn. You just have to help teach him. I know this can be a tough one in some relationships. So if that's you, I encourage you to take some time to really pray about this and pray how God can grow your sexual intimacy in your marriage. The third point is that your husband needs to know that you find him attractive, that you still think he's sexy, that you would still date him, that you love the way he looks. Let him know that you find his clothes attractive, that you think he smells good, that you love his body. Let him know, because it will certainly make him feel proud. I'll let you in on a little secret. The more that you tell him those things, the more he's going to do them for you. If there's a certain cologne that you like, let him know. He'll be wearing it a whole lot more.
Thanks, Brad, for sharing with us what men need, and now Kate's going to share with us what women need.
Husbands, I don't think I have to tell you how important sexual intimacy is in your marriage, but I think that I can shed some light on ways to reach your wife in the way that God designed her to enjoy sexual intimacy. The first point is that wives need to have their emotional needs met many times before they can enjoy sex. We wives are wired differently, and we tend to think about all of these different things going on throughout our day, our grocery list, our schedule, where the kids have to be, school needs, homework, what's cooking for dinner. All of those things are weighing on our mind. And for us to be able to enjoy sex with you, we need to kind of get that off the plate. And so many times if we can sit down with you, I know Brad and I many times will just sit down at the end of the day and just talk about the day and just, hey, what's going on for tomorrow? And just being able to verbalize those things and for him to share in them with me. And it's a support in that regard, but it also sort of puts them all to rest in my mind for the most part. And once that happens, then I definitely feel like I'm in a better place and can be totally in tune with Brad and enjoy that time together. So just find ways in your day to be able to meet your wife's emotional needs so that she can be more receptive and enjoy sex with you. Point number 2 is that wives need time to warm up. I'm sure you've all heard the cliche saying that men are like microwaves and women are like crock pots. And in many cases, that's very true. For you guys, foreplay can take 2 to 3 minutes. And for women, that can be something that happens all day long, from the start of when we spend time with you in the morning, see you in the morning, to our interactions with you throughout the day, if there are any, to the time that you come home. That all for a woman is what makes her feel warmed up to you and ready to share sexual intimacy with you. So finding ways to connect with her throughout the day, not just running out to work, but giving her a hug and a kiss, and finding ways to send her an email or a text, something like that, to let her know that you're thinking about her, helps her to know that and feel connected to you. And then also when you're home in the evenings, ways that you can hold her hand and be encouraging to her, help her out with the kids, help her out with some of her responsibilities around the house. All of that is foreplay for wives, and it leads up to her feeling like, okay, I want to be with him. You know, I want to spend time with him. So guys, unfortunately, there is no magic bullet to this. I wish that I had something for you, but if you're attentive to your wife and you're meeting her needs, the good thing is that you're going to grow your intimacy in your marriage in all areas, and that's going to be an incredible blessing.
Thanks, Brad and Kate, for helping us understand both the male and the female perspective on this very important topic of physical intimacy. So now we're going to move to our knee to knee, nose to nose time. Get so that you can look at one another and fully concentrate on answering some of these questions and looking at some of these scriptures together. You know, Brad talked to us about frequency, and 1 Corinthians chapter 7 came to mind, where Paul talks about our need to meet one another's needs, to separate a little bit, to pray and fast, but to come back together again. That kind of implies regularity. It kind of implies frequency. Brad and Kate both talked about the fact that we need to be selfless when it comes to physical intimacy, not selfish. And Philippians chapter 2 verse 3 is a great passage of scripture for us to look that way. And then Brad was talking about describing how we respond to one another physically, and Song of Solomon comes into play there, both chapter 5 where she describes her lover's body, and in chapter 7 when he describes her body. So take a look a little bit at those passages of scripture, and that would be great. Then Brad also talked about the fact that this is an area that we as couples struggle, and we can pray about it. And God has created sex. He made sex to be a very special love language between husbands and wives. And if God made it, it's all right to talk about it, and it's all right to pray about it. Thanks for watching today, and you can help us continue to make these dates available for free by going out to fantheflamedates.com and clicking on the Donate Today tab.